Running a brokerage is hard work, so whether you're focused on building your own sales pipeline, hiring the best agents, leveling up your team's production, or protecting the culture you've built, you're in the right place. Real estate brings the challenges, and we share the solution. Welcome to the show dedicated to broker entrepreneurs. Welcome to the Brokerpreneur Podcast. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Brokerpreneur Podcast. We're all sword in the stone. I'm Dr. Ben Spears, and I'm here with the big guy, as usual, Matt Vi. What's up, Matt?
Just living the dream, man. Living the dream. Finishing out the year strong, getting stuff done.
Yeah. Just waiting to put that turkey in the oven.
Yeah, I'm still waiting.
Yeah,
I'm still waiting.
We had a whole panel of brokerpreneurs today on Brokerpreneur Not So Secret Society that were also waiting. It was like 12 o'clock, and we were like, man, is anybody going to show up?
And then bam, 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 bam,
and
bam.
like 12:01, it was like the room was jam-packed. So
right.
we loved seeing everybody.
Yeah.
Matt, what are we talking about today, man?
Yeah, so we're gonna dig into a couple of video ideas to create engagement and specifically for recruiting that are going to get those recruits to kind of connect with you the way that we want.
I like it a lot. Awesome. Well, guys, before we do that, make sure you hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button wherever you're watching. The most important thing that you can, I say the most important thing, the biggest thank you that you can give us for putting these podcasts out every single weekend, if you're enjoying the content, is to just take a second right now and hit that thumbs up button wherever you are. That just tells the algorithm. I said algorithm.
It tells the altruism.
Snoop Dogg. The algorithm to put us, up on the top with our content. So it's the best way you can support the channel. All right, Matt. Video ideas, right? That's usually my wheelhouse. But I'm down. I'm listening. I'm like, what can I do?
Yeah. So we want people to engage, right?
Yep.
And we want them to be connected, and we want them to talk to us. The reason what we really want to accomplish, and the reason why they would talk to us, is if we're renting space in their head until the time comes that they actually want to make a transition in their business.
Yeah.
Okay. And so in order to do that, we have to make sure that we get their attention first.
Yeah.
Okay. And so here's the example I'll use about getting people's attention. Let's say that you're in a big cocktail party.
Yep.
And because it's the end of the year, a bunch of people are going to a bunch of parties, and there's a lot of noise, and everybody's broken down into groups, and people are talking to each other and everything. There's two ways that you can get somebody's attention, right? So if I'm over there talking to friends, we're having that conversation. One way is if a waiter drops a whole bunch of glasses, right? Everybody just turns and looks, right?
Yeah.
And it gets their attention. And then the other way is somebody walks into the room, and across the room, no matter how loud it is, they go, "Matt, over here!" And then all of a sudden you pick your head up and you're like, "Hey, I'm over here. What's up?" Or along that same line, right, a kid could walk into the room and say, "Mom," or "Dad," or whoever, and then that group of people that the kid sounds like, right, would turn. Okay, so what that's doing is that's basically it's kind of catching the people in that party that are surrounded by the noise, that are in their groups, that are doing their day-to-day thing. It's getting their attention.
Yeah.
Right.
Usually, when I walk into a room, I turn heads.
Right. Towards you or away from you?
That's not in a good way. Let me finish.
Let me finish. So what we want to do is we don't want to. I think a lot of times brokers think that they need to be the one that's breaking the glasses.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Think about that for just a second. You're in a room, you're in that environment. So the waiter drops the glasses. Everybody, claps for just a second, makes fun and everything. And then everybody quickly, what do? Go right back to what they're doing. Right? They immediately get focused back on what they're doing. But if somebody walks in the room and they say, "Matt," and you turn and look and you might wave and you're like, "Hey, this, my friend," what their attention is caught, right?
Yeah.
That attention's really there. So whenever you're doing your social media post, don't push for that shock feature.
Yeah.
Don't push for that tray of broken glasses.
Yeah.
A lot of times we think that's what we need to do for social media engagement. And the truth is that's not really what we're trying to do. What we're trying to do instead is while people are doing what they're doing, we're trying to speak directly to them. We're just doing it in a large group of people.
Yeah. And I'm going to add another thing in there too, as far as, because we're using this like kind of restaurant, scenario here. That person, also gets attention when it's like, you know what? rounds on me, or I'm going to buy dessert for everybody at the table, right? Adds that value to the room, right?
Yeah.
That gets people kind of talking like, what's this guy all about?
Right, absolutely. And especially whenever they walk in and they say, hey, I'm buying a round for my table, and you're not sitting at that table, right?
Yeah.
And that gets everybody's attention. So how do we do that though, right?
Yeah.
So if I'm posting things on social media, if I'm getting content out there, of course, if I come across something funny, post it. Right? So a great example, everybody's seen that, that meme where that little girl's running in that yellow jacket and she's turning that corner really fast and her eyes are wide open, her head's leaning back, and it says, me running back to the office when somebody says they're ready to write a contract. Right?
Right.
So that got sent around to every real estate agent probably.
Yep.
Okay. That's the breaking glasses.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, that got attention, but if I posted that as a broker, that really, what did that really do for me? Right?
Yeah.
That didn't make that connection. That didn't allow me to rent that space in their head. So what I'd rather do instead is I'd rather yell their name from across the room.
Yeah.
Okay. And so that's whenever you say something like, are you trying to get more listing appointments? When you start your video that way, or you start your post with, are you trying to get more listing appointments? My agents got more listing appointments in 2 weeks by doing this one thing. Yeah. Download the whatever, grab the whatever that is, right? Now what that's doing is that's speaking to someone in that room that wants more listings. Yeah. Now you're getting connected directly with that person. That's how you're going to get a type of engagement that's going to allow you to rent space in their head. So an example of that would be, let's say I make that post, and one of my agents, I talked to one of my agents ahead of time and I say, hey, Ben, you crushed it with this little tactic that we're doing for getting more listings, right? You love that. When I post this, I'm going to tag you in it. What I'd like to do is I would like to, as much as possible, one, I want you to share this. Okay. I'm going to share it with some other people I know. I'm going to have a share squad. I'm going to deal with that, with all of that, whole different conversation, go back and listen to a past podcast for that. And we're going to get the word out there, but I'm going to put some information on there, and I'd just love for you to comment on it if you wouldn't mind. And then Ben goes in there and says, yeah, I was able to get more business because of this and this because of it. Well, people that are flying by that and see that, and it kind of catches their eye, and then all of a sudden they see that Ben got business with that, man, I just rented some time in their head. Yep. At that point, me as the broker said, hey, I want to help. Here's a way that I'm going to be able to help you. By the way, one of my agents jumped in that it really helped and just shared the story of it helping. Now I'm talking to people specifically that want to get more listings because of how I structured that social post.
Yeah, I like that a lot. And, you had mentioned something in a couple masterminds even this week of, here's some video ideas that, even some of the agents who come to BOP Live can do. I've also made some comments on our broker masterminds, whereas, do we really know if the agents are going to do this or not? Right. And you had mentioned, gosh, well, this is for the current agents, of course. Maybe you could do that video for them. Yep. The cool thing is you can do that for some of your recruits as well. And so, I wouldn't mind you touching on that just a little bit, just to give everybody some concepts of it. Hey, Dr. Ben here. I hope you're enjoying this episode. If sometimes you feel overloaded or alone when it comes to building your brokerage, I want you to know that we are here for you. There's so much support available to agents, but hardly any dedicated to brokers. I want to personally invite you to schedule a complimentary strategy call where Matt will help you build a 3-step profitability plan that will immediately produce results. This is not a sales pitch. There's no obligation. Simply click the link in the description below. Now let's get back to the show.
Yeah. So what we were talking about is, interest rates right now, a lot of people are saying a lot of things about interest rates. Okay. Mm-hmm. Interest rates are higher than they have been. They're not as high as they have ever been. Okay. And right now, there's no doubt in my mind, right now, there's buyers out there that this is the right time to buy. Yep. Okay. And so if you're not comfortable talking about the difference in interest rates and payments and all that kind of stuff, hold your camera up, turn your damn ring light on, and get in front of it with your lender that you're friends with, that is reliable, that looks great on camera, that is going to go out there and be a shoot straighter, and that has an audience, and say, hey, Billy Bob, do me a favor. I want you to talk. I'm going to turn the camera on in just a second. I want you to talk about why right now is a great time to do to actually purchase and not be worried about interest rates. Yeah. And then you listen to what he or she has to say for just a second, and then go, yeah, that's great. Let's keep it at this. Don't talk too long. Keep it short. Let's be under a minute. Blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then you turn the camera on and you go, hey everybody, I'm here really quick. I've heard a lot about the market recently, but I'm sitting here with Billy Bob, who's with Billy Bob's Lending. Billy Bob, tell us about interest rates. What do buyers really need to be thinking right now? You have that conversation with them. Okay. It's a great post. You put the post out there. It's very important that you share it with him so that he can share it with his peeps, right? So all of a sudden you're getting more leverage out of the post.
For sure.
But now for the next 2, 3, 4 weeks, when you bump into any kind of recruit, whether it's with your outbound or whether you see them at an open house or something like that, and you ask, hey, how's the market? And they're going to go, oh, well, it's whatever, interest rates. And you're going to, you know what? I was talking to Billy Bob. I actually did this post when I get back to my office, or I'll send it to you in just a second. And you send that to them, and then you follow back up and say, hey, what'd you think of that? Is that what you're doing? Are you leveraging it that way? How are you handling things? But so now all of a sudden you're having a really evolved conversation about content that you didn't even create.
Right.
And it's allowing you to get that engagement just because you were the mastermind behind getting the message to the market that needed to be delivered.
Yep. I have a question about that.
Yep. Bring it.
So there's no way you're going to be able to answer this.
Yeah. You'll stump me.
Stump the mat.
Uh-huh.
So when we were talking about it was, I'm going to shoot this video because my agents maybe won't go out there and get a lender and do that with them. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to make it for them to share with their buyers and sellers.
Yep.
Right? That, of course, would be branded to Matt's Realty, that kind of thing.
Right.
My question is, if you were to share this with an agent who's outside, would you intro it, or can you even, I don't even know the rules behind all this, can you intro it just like, hey, I'm Matt, I'm a local broker here in Clearwater, Florida. Don't say your brand, right? That kind of thing. Mm-hmm. I'm here with, Billy Bob with Billy Bob's Lending, right? You can say his.
Right.
Do you think, is that something that they could do, and then make it for the recruit to share with some of their buyers and sellers, or is that like, nah, I just wouldn't want to do that. You get where I'm coming from.
Yeah, great idea. I don't know that the recruit would share it. But absolutely a great idea, and go ahead and do it. Make 2 of them.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, make 2 of them. Make one that's really branded to you and your company and whatever, fill in the blank, and then make one of them that's really generic. Hey, I'm Matt. I'm a broker in Clearwater, Florida, sitting here with Dr. Ben from Dr. Ben's Lending. And Dr. Ben, tell us about interest rates. We're hearing a lot about it. Tell us about interest rates.
They're interesting.
They're interesting, right? And so at that point, you have both of those, and what you're going to do is, you do a co-op transaction with somebody. You call to thank a co-op, right? And you pick up the phone and you're like, hey, I know you did a transaction with so-and-so and all that kind of stuff. I just wanted to, say thanks. I appreciate that. And by the way, I want you to get more business in the market. I actually did a video with Billy Bob, and you're welcome to share it if you want to share it and brand it to you, however you want to brand it to you. If you want to do that, I'll text that over to you in just a second. What can it hurt?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, at that point, you added 1 more minute to your recording time.
Absolutely.
And you just cut it up and sat it somewhere until it was time to share it. So I don't see how that's, I don't see how that's difficult I don't see how that's difficult or why it should stop somebody from doing it. But I don't know how much share you'll get from it. However, you get a lot of value from delivering it.
Mm-hmm. You know what I would do?
What would you do, Ben? Tell me.
Matt. I was just thinking about that while you were saying that.
All right, bring it.
I would shoot the branded one. Uh-huh. Of course, I would shoot the non-branded one the exact same time, just like Matt's saying. I would send everyone the branded one. And then when an agent replies back, thanks, this is really good information, if it's a recruit, that is.
Right.
Then I would send the non-branded one saying,
look at you being all ninja suspect.
Then I would say, hey, I know I've mentioned my brokerage in it. Mm-hmm. I know this is really good information that maybe you'd want to share with your buyers and sellers. I actually shot one where I didn't really mention my brokerage. Mm-hmm. You're more than welcome. Feel free to share it. You have my permission to share it however you would like.
Yeah. I think that's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, then you're loading them up, right? Absolutely. You're giving them 2 pieces of value, and it really looks
for the price of 1.
Yeah, for the price of 1, right? It's like Black Friday videos.
That's right.
BOGO. And so, that's what I would do. Matt, I don't mean to cut you off.
Yep.
But I'm gonna try something new, and all of our listeners, let me know what you think about this. Go to the comments in YouTube and say, yeah, I actually like that. I know some of our Episodes are, we'll say this is going to be about 15 minutes. Some of them are 20 to 30 minutes. We talked about a couple videos they could do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to let you recap in 30 seconds, like 2 videos for them to go shoot right now.
Right.
And then I'm just gonna like end it.
All right.
Right. And let's just leave them with some action steps that they can say, you know what, I grabbed that concept. Okay, here's 2 things. I'm gonna get off this podcast and I'm gonna go do it. Let me know in like I said, in the comments in YouTube, do you like that format?
Right.
Or was like, no, I really want to hear, more of Ben's jokes, and
right.
I'd like to have the podcast double the length again. Right?
Right.
I'm just curious. We'll do a science experiment here. Matt,
Yep.
Tell us 2 videos that they could go shoot right now, and then I'll put a bow on it.
Interest rates and how do buyers limit fall throughs.
Perfect.
So I would make a video that because we're having some of that now, but it's gonna more of that's gonna happen. And
Yeah.
anytime the pendulum is swinging from buyer to seller side, there's gonna be a sloppy bottom on it. In my experience, at least in real estate. And so what I would do is I would say, hey, for those of you buyers out there that are struggling right now and having a hard time, you either haven't found the house that you wanted or you found a house and something fell through with it. Here's 2 things that you can do that reduce the likelihood of your property actually, once you get it under contract, falling out. That way you make sure you take it all the way to closing. And then give them 2 tips on whatever's going on in your market, right? Yeah. You could also talk about taxes changing. One of our brokers brought that up on a recent call. Taxes are going up and that's impacting closing. So there's a lot of things. There's not a shortage of great information that you could put out that would get attention that you could share the way we talked about.
Yeah, for sure. I love that. Well, guys, go take that information and run with it.
Yep.
But before you do that, if you're listening to this on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Deezer, and all those platforms still exist, make sure you hit that follow button. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit that red subscribe button, that bell right beside it, get notified every time we drop a new episode. Biggest thank you can give us again is hitting that thumbs up button.
Much appreciated.
Yep, absolutely helps us and the algorithm.
Can I say why real quick?
Yeah, for sure.
Man, there's some decent people out there with some content that is really good about recruiting. There's some people that put some, and there's a bunch of shit out there too.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I hate it whenever I watch a video because I'm always trying to learn more stuff.
Of course.
I hate it when I watch a video that's higher in the search that looks like it's going to give an answer, and you watch it and it's a bunch of crap that's just crap.
Yeah.
So how do we make sure that the stuff that we put out, because we don't think our crap is crap. We research our stuff pretty well. We make sure
we don't have crap if we don't think it's crap.
That's right.
Our stuff is crap. We don't think our stuff is crap.
Right. There you go. So I want to make sure that this is performing, and the people that really want to do something with recruiting are getting quality information instead of a whole bunch of people trying to sell them stuff.
Yes, absolutely. Right? I like that, Matt. That's what we're here for.
It is.
That and one other reason. What is that?
We just want to be part of their win.